Hey, everybody, this is Gary Kay, and you're watching a special video edition of my Rants and Raves podcast, which is appropriate because we're talking about CEDIA, and there's a lot of video, and video is a big focus in the high-end residential market, and I'm excited to be joined with Tim Sanave. Tim is the Managing Director of Barco Residential. Tim, how are you?
I'm fine, Gary. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Everyone is excited about CEDIA. You know, the whole first half of the year is all about commercial AV. There's a little bit of home AV sprinkled in ISE, which we'll talk about in a minute because you had an amazing private suite there. And some of the stuff you had at ISE, you're going to bring to CEDIA, and you're going to be in booth 3030 at CEDIA in Denver next week. But one of the most exciting things is your new CinemaScope product. So talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, the Bragi CinemaScope projector is, I guess, the newest member in our family of projectors that I'm really excited about for a couple of reasons. One, it obviously features CinemaScope, which is a feature that is not only quite unique to us, but something that we really believe in terms of bringing that real cinema experience. But also in terms of technology, it's a pretty unique product. So it's a solid state light source, but it's not laser, it's LED. So when you look at that, as you know, in the past, there have been LED projectors, and people were generally very impressed by the performance and the image quality and everything else, but light output was always a bit of a challenge. So we feel with Bragi that we have a product that kind of brings all of that together now. And also, I think in terms of price range and all of that, sits in a range that really makes it a very, very interesting product for a lot of integrators when you're looking at high performance home theaters.
So talk about that for just a second. I mean, what is the light output rated at, and what is the price range for the product? Because I know it's not just one price because it depends on the lens and also some of the accessories. But tell us a little bit about the light output specification and the price range.
So the light output is around 2,000 lumens. So when you look at that, of course, compared to the rest of our range, it seems on the lower side, ironically. That being said, when you look at the products in that category, it's a great light output, but also specifically for an LED projector, it's quite impressive, right? If you remember, LED projectors used to be about half or less of that light output. And so you really get a lot of benefits here. You have the light output, you have amazing color performance, and then also because of the nature of LED as a light source, your perception of brightness is even higher than the rated light output. So if you look at a 2,000 lumens LED projector versus a 2,000 lumens laser or lamp projector, your eyes will tell you that the LED projector is in fact quite a bit brighter.
Yeah, and that's because of the black level and the really more the white level of an LED projector has an interesting difference, colorimetry difference there. And the price range is going to fall where?
So the price range, for people that know our range, it falls in between the Medea and the Boulder projectors.
Yeah.
So that means in US dollars, it's just under $30,000 MSRP. And so for that category, it really brings a great new level of performance, particularly since it's a native CinemaScope as well. Right. So that comes with a standard lens. So in fact, you have two lens options that fall within the standard MSRP, let's say. And then you have a whole range of other lens options that, depending on the type of lens, carries some extra cost. That then varies between the lenses. For example, if you have one of the really ultra short throw lenses, the upcharge will be a little bit more than some of the other lenses.
So I also heard a rumor that you'll have the Unici line. And for those of you who don't know the Unici line, in the commercial AV world, it was very innovative as a video wall product because it's modular and sort of pre-kitted in the way it installs and how simple it is to put together. Is that true? You're going to have it there? And what sort of is the concept behind having it at CEDIA?
I guess I can give you the scope, Gary. It is going to be there. So the idea is, and I'm sure you've seen this, is that when we talk about this, we tend to talk a little bit less about specifically projection or direct view LED or tiled LCD, but we prefer to look at it as a digital canvas, right? So if you look at our focus, we're talking about what we are really doing is we are creating a digital canvas. We are using that digital canvas to create an experience, which can range from traditional home theater to gaming, to art, to a whole range of other things. And when we look at that digital canvas, then we have a range of technologies at our disposal that we can create, or that we can use rather, to create that digital canvas, depending on what is it that we're trying to do, what is the experience, what are the design requirements, and things like that. So from that sense, it makes complete sense for us to add Unicy to those materials. And so in the past, people have seen direct view LED from us, particularly when we use it for new media art. But so Unicy perfectly fits into that toolkit. So we're quite excited to show it. Also, as a product and a technology, it ticks all our residential boxes, if you will. Of course, in terms of performance and image quality, is super important for us. I think everyone that has seen Unicy in the flesh has been thoroughly impressed. Then also from an integration perspective, and from an architectural integration perspective, the fact that the bezel is ultra thin, this is perfect material for us to also use to create residential canvases. So I'm excited that more people in the CEDIA channel will get to see it, and will also get a bit more of a feeling of how they can use that. And in fact, we have done certain projects already with it in the residential space. I'm thinking about one even that was a 4x4 Unicy wall, so with ultra high resolution. When you do 4x4, you get to 4 times 4K, of course. So that was incredibly impressive to see that in someone's house. But again, you know, like I always say, this is not a case of LED instead of projection or tiled LCD instead of LED. They are all unique technologies that have unique properties, and depending on what it is that you're trying to do, it's going to make more sense to use one or the other technology to create the canvas.
Yeah, one of the other things that I always enjoyed since the beginning that Barco started exhibiting, it's only been, has it been about 5 years that you started exhibiting at CEDIA? Is that about right?
That's about right. Yeah, the first time was kind of half coming out, right? Kind of just checking things out. But yeah, I think this will be our 4th proper CEDIA.
Yeah, so 4th. Okay, so is that you always send, or you have historically, with the exception of last year, had a really impressive theater demo where you've partnered with other companies to show how to build a perfect experience visually. I understand that's coming back in booth 3030 this year.
Yes, I mean, as you mentioned, we've been quite keen, of course, at past CEDIAs and ISEs to kind of really show, you know, this is not just about home theater. There's so more than home theater, so much more than home theater, which I think continues to be important. But this year, with the introduction of Bragi, you know, which is a projector that is really designed for high-end home theaters, but bringing it to I guess to a level or a category where this level of performance was previously unavailable, we felt that it was important to bring the theater back. So there will be a full, proper, dedicated home theater on the booth. That again we've built with a number of our partners, because we continue to invest and believe very strongly in the importance of partnering up with other manufacturers to create that perfect overall experience where every element is really as it should be, not just what we do.
Yeah, and I think that historically that's had a line. Like you can't just like walk up and walk in. And it's usually about a 5 to 10 minute show. So I would encourage you to go by the first day, booth 3030, get on the list, make sure you get a pass, make sure you get in, and also make sure that you see everything else that's there, because of course a lot of people are there at the show to see the theater products because that's the big wow factor. But Barco's always done a really good job showing how you can build displays into other rooms, kitchens, living rooms, game rooms. places like that. And I think one of those products that will certainly be highlighted there is Unicy. Will you also, you mentioned a couple of times LED. Will you also have the LED products there as well, or will it be just projectors and Unicy?
No, we will have a dedicated LED art canvas.
Okay.
So people will be able to see that, but also, to make sure that we make it quite concrete, it's also going to be to the point where people will be able to actually get information even on, hey, if I want to buy this right now and take it home, the art and the canvas, we will be able to tell people that. And again, I find direct view LED is quite a unique canvas when it comes down to art. So we'll be keen to talk about that as well. But I would certainly also encourage people to spend some time in the architectural integration area of the booth, because they're going to be seeing some really innovative ways of integrating the technology into the space. And I will also encourage them to sign up for one of our lunch and learn sessions, either on Thursday or Friday, where together with some of our people and Neil Davidson from DT Technologies, for example, we'll be going deeper into the specifics of architectural integration using projection, for example. And if people want to sign up for that, they can go to our Twitter or to our Facebook. They'll see there's some links there where they can register for these lunch and learn sessions.
Yeah, and that's facebook.com/Barco. Is it Barco Residential or Barco?
It's Barco Residential specific. Now I'd have to double check whether it's.
I think it's on the Barco site too, because I remember looking at that earlier. But I'll put a link into it in the description of this podcast. They are in booth 3030 next week at CEDIA. You have to make sure you stop by Barco. Barco is one of the high-end companies there. So the good thing about going there first is you see the best, and then you can walk around and see the rest. So you can compare the difference, because you have to. Unless you have a reference, sometimes you don't realize what you're looking at. So there is a big difference. So I would encourage you to go by booth 3030. And Tim, I really appreciate you joining me. I really appreciate you supporting our coverage of CEDIA. And I wish you the best of luck. I'm excited to see what you do.
Thank you very much, Gary. I look forward to seeing you next week.
And of course, you can go to barco.com, see everything, barcoresidential.com also. And we'll see you next week in CEDIA.